Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back. So Donald Trump won the election. And now, after we won the election, it is time to move on because we got a lot of work to do. Winning the election was hard, right? It was hard. People that said this was easy, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't easy. It was a huge win, but it wasn't an easy win because Donald Trump put like over 100 hours of campaigning through this whole entire thing. I think more than 100 hours. Well, I don't know if 100 hours. But yes, he put double-digit amount of hours in campaigning, and not to mention, he almost got killed twice. This wasn't easy. No way was this easy. But I have regret to inform you that it's not going to get any easier because, sure, the challenge of the Democrats is gone, but yes and no. The Democrats will always be a challenge. They will always be a threat. And that's why, you know what? We need a House majority. I think we just won that House majority. It's pretty safe to say Republicans will win the House of Representatives as we projected. We've just got the Hill projecting that the Republicans will win the House of Representatives. But we also want, as you should know, a specific administration, because it wasn't just the Democrats and the opposition that was tormenting and bullying our President Trump during 8 years ago, mostly 5-6 years ago. Donald Trump was trying to get of course, things done. And of course, there was infighting in his own party. You know, there are just too many factions in the GOP, and Donald Trump, he didn't necessarily know he was doing. He was in the political field, as you know. He wasn't even in the political field, excuse me. And realistically, there isn't really much so he was kind of clueless. Not an insult to him in any way means necessary, but he didn't know what to do. He honestly did not know what to do, and he was looking at the experienced politicians, the experienced Republicans. Hang on, though. Donald Trump, though, however, is different than the experienced Republicans. The experienced Republicans back then specifically were pro-Iraq, they were pro-Bush, they were former Bush administration Republicans, and that, as a result, resulted to, of course, relations between Donald Trump's administration intensifying. It's not really doing well. Even Mike Pence, I can guarantee you, Donald Trump didn't just pick Mike Pence. His Rhino advisors told him, "Oh, you gotta pick Mike Pence," because Mike Pence is an evangelical Republican from Indiana. But the problem is, Mike Pence isn't he's that big deep state Washington politician. So really, do Republicans like deep state Washington Republicans? No, they don't. But back then in 2016, they were forced to like them because the establishment was very authoritarian. Republicans that had criticized Bush or his decisions in the Iraq War were purged. They were canceled. But Donald Trump wasn't going to play that game. Now, they were pretty respectful to Trump because he was the party nominee, after all. They want him to win. But they decided to take advantage of him with his lack of understanding of government and just knowing how to be the president and politics altogether. They decided to take advantage of him and try to implore these Rhino ideals. And you have the former 2016 Trump administration. Let's see, first Trump administration, which was terrible, by the way. Terrible. Because, I love Donald Trump, but his cabinet was full of rhinos. And most of his cabinet have turned against him. A lot of them have endorsed Kamala Harris. All these cabinet members weren't chosen by Trump. They were chosen by rhinos. The rhino establishment. in other means necessary. This is the presidency. I want to know the cabinet. Minute of Donald Trump. Oh, there we go. The actual page. Yes, first cabinet, second cabinet. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yes, we got the first cabinet of Donald Trump. And what ended up happening, here's the thing. Mike Pence, bad. We didn't even choose this guy. They just said, hey, go and pick Pence. We're not going to go over all of them, but we're just going to go ahead and go over the most iconic and most brutal. Ben Carson was probably one of the best Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. Absolutely one of the best, I have to say. Trump picked good, but a lot of these rhinos, they, like, seriously, not all of them weren't even, they weren't even committed to actually, as you should know, in this case, being just with Trump's policies. They didn't like that Trump stopped the war machine of the GOP. The GOP that started the Iraq war and the Afghanistan war. Donald Trump didn't like that he put an end to that. No, not Donald Trump. What am I saying? The cabinet and the administration didn't like that Donald Trump put an end to it. That's why we have warmongers like Liz Cheney. We have warmongers like John Bolton. They go and jump ship, and they launch campaigns and merge with the Democrat Party to go against Trump, because really they want to cause chaos. They want to cause destruction. And no, that's not what MAGA is about. Causing chaos off the world. No, America first is MAGA. Make America great again. And make America great again is not making this imperialist ideology. And that's the thing. The left makes MAGA to make out this really, really, really bad thing. Really, MAGA is so bad, so scary. And here it's against imperialism. It's against imperially going into different countries that don't need to be invaded. But it appears that, to me, that Democrats enjoy imperialism, because out of the blue, they are cheering for the fall of Russia. They want the escalation of the Ukraine war, where eventually we are going to invade, go into Europe, and who knows? They want an escalation where maybe we're taking land from Russia. They are for imperialism, and we don't call it imperialism today, guys. We call it just chaos. We call it chaos. Agents of chaos. That's what imperialists are today. Just agents of chaos. I'll tell you this. Iraq didn't need to be invaded. We didn't need to get involved in Libya. We could have played ball with Gaddafi. We shouldn't have overthrown him. I'm not saying, why should have we got involved? Like, let the rebels in the Civil War handle itself. That's Libya's problem. But for some reason, it's the GOP too. But under Obama, and the GOP under McConnell and all those other Republicans, they were jumping up and down for the fall of Gaddafi. No, we need to play ball with Gaddafi. I'm not saying Gaddafi should be still in power, or Gaddafi is a good guy. No, but because if we don't play ball with dictators, then you know what happens? Our people in the United States, their vulnerability increases. Their vulnerability and a threat of a war between our two countries exists. We didn't need to go into Afghanistan. We could have thrown a drone and killed Saddam Hussein not Saddam Hussein, Osama bin Laden, if we needed to. Throw a drone down there and kill him. We've sent drones and we killed that guy from Iran back in 2020. Iran shot some missiles at our bases. So what? I'm glad Trump didn't strike back. John Bolton was like, go strike back like a man. No, because we could see this is already escalating. But as we could see, we got, other than J.D. Vance, who is the vice president, Donald Trump chose him, and rightfully so. I feel JD is absolutely a beast. He is a beast because unlike Mike Pence, who does not know how to debate, he lets Kamala Harris cheese him up and say, like, you're the vice president, and you're letting Kamala Harris, you're the president of the Senate, you're her boss, and Kamala Harris is talking smack to the vice president in a debate. Mr. Pence, I'm speaking! Mr. Pence! Mr. Pence! And Mike Pence, what does he do? He does nothing. He has absolutely nothing. And a fly lies on his head, pointing out to everyone how stupid this guy is. So he lost the debate. I don't care if you agreed with his arguments. He lost the debate. Oh, I'm like, seriously. Just the setting and the narrative that's being established. It's just like, you can't rely on people like Mike Pence to get things done. So I'm glad Donald Trump not used his brain, because it honestly wasn't his fault. He was forced and he was bullied by his own party and his own group to choose what they want to choose. And he actually said, you know what? People criticize me for it, but he's choosing J.D. Vance. I mean, he could have chose Vivek, but Vivek, I would be honest, he's, once again, he's not coming from an office. He's from Ohio. He ran for president, sure, but that's all he is. Other than that, he's a CEO. He is head of a company. I would like to see Vivek either as who knows? Maybe ask Mike DeWine and maybe DeWine would actually put Vivek as Vance's successor, and I would like to see that. Other than that, you could see Jim Jordan. But we need as many MAGA Republicans in office in this administration as possible. That's why we responded with urgency. That's why we saw the Senate. I was happy to see the Senate. Kari Lake won't be winning her seat, unfortunately. They've already called some. The AP hasn't called it, but Ruben Gallego's going to win. Unfortunately. I felt like, why do we need to focus on the Senate while we already won it? Well, the most seats we have, the more that we won't split ticket. Because there's going to be infighting. I don't necessarily trust David McCormick. He has had some previous fishy positions in the Bush administration. I don't necessarily trust him all the way, and I would love to trust him. I would love to call David McCormick a Trump MAGA Republican, but I can't really rely on David McCormick. But I understand he kind of has to have some Bush-like positions because, it's Pennsylvania, but Pennsylvania has Trumpified so much. How much do you need to go? I think David McCormick can ratify and fix his views. I think he's a little bit of a neocon, but we'll see how that goes. Secretary of the Treasury, to be determined. Attorney General, to be determined. Secretary of Agriculture, to be determined. Secretary of Labor, to be determined. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, to be determined. Secretary of Energy, to be determined. Secretary of Veteran Affairs, to be determined. Now, cabinet level officials have been already selected. You'll see that Susie Wiles has been selected as the White House Chief of Staff, and we know Susie Wiles from Florida. She is Donald Trump's, as you should know, his campaign manager for this said election. Oh, never mind. So now she also worked in the 2016 campaign. So Susie Wiles is an American political consultant who served as co-chair of Donald Trump's 2024 presidential campaign, having previously worked on his 2016 campaign, which is good. She isn't one of them that turned on him. Like, seriously. like, I'm glad. I was kind of fishy with, I'm like, Susie Wiles. She seems like the person that would totally turn around and stab you in the back. But, looks since she's been here since 2016, which is great. Having previously worked on his 2016 campaign, as well as Reagan's 1980 campaign. So she's been in the course for a while. 1980, for Ronald Reagan, which is amazing. I mean, I think there's a reason why Trump chose her, because she's built good campaigns. Obviously, you know, Ronald Reagan's campaign was very, very strong there. But yes, I'm glad to see Susie Wiles in the administration, even though I haven't known who she was. I didn't know who she was till now. I mean, but then there's our favorite Elise Stefanik, who is the ambassador to the United Nations. That means she's leaving her post. She's leaving her said United States. That means there will be a special election in the seat where in New York's 21st district, right up here. And that will be, of course, we'll be looking at that election. Well, we won't be covering that election. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit, but that's in 2025, the special election. But yeah, there will be a couple special elections depending on who Trump chooses. If he chooses someone from out of the House of Representatives, I think he's having Mr. Waltz, not Tim Waltz, but Michael Waltz from Georgia. I think that's his name, Michael Waltz. Yes, he is probably going to be the secretary. Oh, yeah, he's the United States National Security Advisor. He's assuming office. Yeah, that means he's leaving office from Florida's 6th Congressional District. So that's making sense. He won re-election. Of course, I want to believe he won. Yeah, he won re-election in... That's weird. I think he won re-election. I don't see why he wouldn't stop running. But that means there would be a special election in Florida. But that's what it's looking like. Nominated candidates for cabinet level positions. Lee Zeldin is favorite for... He's the nominee for Administrator of Environmental Protection Agency. Then again, there's Lee Zeldin. Yeah, he ran in 2022. So he's not occupying said office. He left office in 2023 to run for governor. Failed. And he needs a job. He's unemployed. We got our ambassador of the United Nations already. Lee Zeldin. Everyone wants to see Lee Zeldin. I think Lee Zeldin would make a good place in the administration. Also. But yes, this is what we got so far. It's just starting. But we have a lot to get through. Yes. Oh yeah, Donald Trump already announced. He announced today for environmental administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency. Does this mean, okay. This must mean, or otherwise, Department of Environmental Protection. Is that what it's called? Or the Environmental Protection Agency. Yeah, Lee Zeldin's taken that. So yeah, we need as much MAGA Republicans as we can in these seats. We also need to focus on the Senate, because Wednesday, we're voting for a new Senate Majority Leader, guys. And we better vote wisely. Rick Scott is who we are endorsing. 100%. 80% in for Rick Scott. He's not the most perfect, and I don't think there's any other Republican out there that's the most perfect. But he's the one that is absolutely perfect compared to the other two that have a Liberty score of an F. Okay? That is John Cornyn and John Thune, the two Johns. And, excuse me, the two Johns. And the two Johns have not updated. I mean, politicians need to update like an iPhone. I mean, seriously, if you want these two Bush Republicans, if they want to keep power, they want to, of course, stay in office, then I don't know what to tell you. You got to update. Get out of Bush, because you are 20 years. You're 20 to 16 years behind. Catch up. Bush is gone. Bush is done. Catch up. Because we got to get rid of these Bush-like Republicans, because they are in another era. We are in the seventh party system, guys. There's no such thing as a seventh party system. Seventh party system started with Donald Trump. Because, believe it or not, let's see. Proposed political era in the U.S. Oh yeah, there it is. Is a proposed era. It's saying 2016. I don't know if they created this page already. But yeah, I'm just saying, the seventh party system has pretty much been created with the rise of Donald Trump. The turning from the Republican Party going anti-war, and the Democratic Party, which back in the sixth party system was more pro-war. Obviously, they're more neocon. With Obama going into Libya, you got Republicans, of course. Well, yeah, that again, Democrats were against that, too. I mean, in the sixth party system, Democrats protested the Iraq war. Do we not remember that? Do we not remember that? During that sixth party system, Republicans went into Iraq and Panama in 1989. Do we not remember that? So, pro-war GOP, more moderate when it comes to war with the Democrats. But then we got in the seventh party system, with the rise of Donald Trump, the GOP suddenly goes from pro-war neocons to isolationists making America great again. That's the start of the seventh party system. And apparently, not everyone wants to acknowledge the facts. It's a proposed political era. What the heck? It should be an era regardless. You're saying we're in the sixth party system still. And I mean, it looks like we're going forward with it. It says 1988 to 2016. Their maps should be created. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.